Good picture.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna make sure that this is on. So then we just want to make sure that this is. Okay, I think it's good.
Hi, John.
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
No, I had to put the chairs away.
Oh, the chair. I would have helped you. But I came with Laura, Lori. And she was leaving. She drove
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, that's what I say.
You can talk to one another.
Yeah. Can you listen to me online?
Are you looking at your phone? Yeah, I have my daughters. I know it's here somewhere. Yeah. I've seen it once. No, that's right.
Yeah, that's all. That's even cooler. I wish somebody did like Yeah. He said, I think I'm going to show you something. I have somewhere. I This is Marty's. I'm usually one of Marty's books.
Shabbat shalom. Good to see everybody today. We'll begin on page 10. Yiti nefesh amara Avlo Yediduta Mino Betsuv Vivotam Agur Nahe Ziv Haolam Nafshi Cholat Ahavata Ana Ena Rifana Ve'Havata Noam Ziva Asti Chazek V'Titrafe V'Haitala Shevat Olam V'Tikehemu Rachamecha V'chosna Aveno Havav Kize Kama Mitzah V'Tzav Liho V'Tiferet U'Ozav Ana Eli Machadi Hushana V'Hati Talam V'Galela U'Oza Vivanai Etzuka Shelomah Tahi Eret Mikevodav Yahagila V'Nismifavav Mahirafu Kivamohein V'Chaveini Kimei Olam Yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la la yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 yala la 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 We continue now on page 11. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song.
Great is Adonai, greater sovereign than all other deities. God's hand formed the earth, the deep mountain presses are true for God's work. The sea is God's, for God made it. Dry land was fashioned by God's hand.
Come, then let us bow and kneel. Let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai, who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands.
If only you would listen today to God's voice, and not become hard-hearted like the people of Noah, like that time in Massah, in the desert, when your ancestors tried and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought.
For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these are a people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my ways. So in anger I swore they would not enter my rest. Arba'im shana akul b'tor ha'omar hamtwe levavheim v'heim lo yadu darachai asher nishbati v'api imevod emenukati shiro ladonai shir hadash shiro ladonai kol haaretz shiro ladonai baruch shemo Basu b'yom le'yom ישועתו ספרו בגויים כבודו בכל העמים נפלותיו כי גדול אדוני ומולד מאוד נוהו על כל אלוהים כי כל אלוהי עמים אלילים ואדוני שמיים עשה עוד וחדר לפניו עוז ותפארת במקדשו הובו לאדוני משפחות עמים הובו לאדוני כבוד ועוז הובו לאדוני כבוד שמו זהו מנחה ובוא לחסרותיו ישכבו לאדוני מחדר הקודש כאילו מפניו כל הארץ אמרו בגויים אדוני מלך עתיקות תבל בתימות ידין עמים במישרים יצרחו השמיים ותגל הארץ ירם הים ומלואו יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו אז ירדו כל השיער לפני אדוני כי היווה לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק העמים באמונתו ילאי We're now on page 15. Adonai malach tagel haaretz yismechu im rabim. Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice.
Clouds of thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besiegers round about us.
Flashes of lightning illumine the land. The earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the master of all the earth.
The heavens tell of God's righteousness, all the nations to see God's glory. Worshippers with idols and chains for faith and faith and follows God. All that is deemed supreme bow before God.
Zion hears of it and rejoices. The city of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment.
Be Adonai are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine.
Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinner.
Righteous sorrow for the righteous, and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people. Thank God, you pronounce the divine holy name.
Ave Adonai sinura shomer nafshot hasidav miad rishayim yatzileim ozaru ala tzadik lishreleim simcha tzadikim Adonai v'hodod et zecher kodsho mizmor shiro l'Adonai shir hadash Ki neflaot asa Hoshiano yemino Uzroa kodesho Hodia Adonai Yeshuato Neheme Agoyim Gilat Sitato Zahar Hazor Ve'emonato Leveit Yisrael Ha'okolab Se'aretz Et Yeshuat Eloheinu Hariu L'Adonai Kol Ha'aretz Yitzhu V'nananu V'zameru Zahu L'Adonai V'chiyei Nor V'kol Zimcha לעשות צחוק וקבוע שופר, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ים הים ומלואו, תבל ביושבך, להרות ינהרו חווה, יחד המייה, עלינו לפני אדוני, כי ישפוט הארץ, ישפוט ובצדק, לעמים ומשבים. We're now at page 19. Yes. Adonai malach yevzu amin, Yosef kruvim tanut haaretz. Adonai reigns, nations tremble. The one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake.
Adonai is great in Zion, above all nations. They shall acknowledge your name, saying, Great, awe-inspiring, Holy One.
A sovereign's strength lies in the love of justice, and you forge the paths of truth, judging Jacob righteously and justly.
Exalted Adonai our God, bow down before God the Holy One.
Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon the divine name, called to you, and you answered them.
You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai our God. You were forgiving good to them, even as you punished them for their transgressions.
Romevo Adonai Eloheinu v'shachavo lahar kodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We rise for the next psalm on page 21. His morning David, Havol Adonai Bnei Havol Adonai, Kavod Kavod, Havol Adonai, Shema Yisrafavol Adonai, Hadra Kodesh, Havol Adonai, Alamayim, Melakavod Hirim, Adonai, Amayim Avim, Kol Adonai, Bako Ayay, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai Shomer Arasim, Vaishamer Adonai Et Hazeh Halavanon, Vayarkidem Kemo Egel, Lebanon V'Sirion, Kemohen Rehemim, Kol Adonai, Hotev Lehavotech, Kol Adonai, Yahil Midbar, Yahil Adonai, Ebebakatesh, Kol Adonai, Chadel Ayalot, Vayefesov Yehavot, Uvechalo, Kulo Merkavot, Adonai Lamavu Yasham, Vayeshev Adonai, Melech Leolam Adonai, Oz Le'aharohit, and Adonai Yivarech Damo Shalom. La 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 Please be seated. We'll continue on page 22 with the Ana B'Choach. If you would, may your mighty hand undo the knot that ties us up.
Accept the prayers of your people, you who are revered, raise us up, cleanse us.
Almighty, if you would, guard as the apple of your eye those who seek your unity.
Bless them, cleanse them, have compassion on them, always act justly toward them.
Mighty, Holy One, in your loving goodness, guide your people.
alone exalted, turn to the people who envelop your holiness.
Listen to our pleas, hear our cries, knowing the hidden depths within us.
Praise be the name of the one whose glorious sovereignty is forever and ever.
Anavacha Kirulaki Mitata Titsurura Kabel Rinatam Pasak Benutarinu Nora Nagibo Doshe Yupuraka Kabbalat Shabbat Barahim Tarim Rahamim Tikataka Tamit Gomeim Hasi Kadosh Baruch Tu Chanahel Adatecha Yachid Ge'elam Chapanei Zochrei Kedushatecha Shabbatenu Kabel Ushmat Za'akatenu Yodei Ta'alumot Baruch Shekol Malchuto Leolam Vohed. Lechadodi on page 23. Lechadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Lechadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Shahamor v'zachor v'dibor echad Ishmiranu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'nitilo Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Likrat Shabbat lecho v'nelecha Ki hi mekor habracha Merosh mikeden nisucha Tzomaz hemach Shabbat hilo Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Mikash melech yebelucha Kumitzehi tohavecha Rabam shevet be'mekavacha V'hu yacham al halayichem lo Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Ita ari meyafar kubi Lifshi b'gei fartecha bi Ayat ben yishar ben halabi Korba nafshi ke'ada Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Rari torari Kiha ore kumi ori Uri uri shirta peri Kevod Adonai alai likla Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lo tevoshim lo tikami Matishochahi u'materhi Ba'efesu ani e'avi V'nifnita irati laha Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela Lechadodi likra kala B'nei Shabbat nikabela V'hayu l'chisa shohosahi V'chatu kol mehalahir Yasis alai Elohai Kipsos hatan kala. Lecha dodi likran kala. Pene Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi likran kala. Pene Shabbat Kabbalat. Yaminus roho tihirosi. Ve'et Adonai tarisi. Ayat is ben kausi. Ve'nisnecha v'nakila. Lecha dodi likrakala. Pene Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi likrakala. Pene Shabbat Kabbalat. Bohi v'shalom ateret balam. Gaham b'simcha u'betzahara. Tohochem u'ne'am segula. Boi chala, lecha dodi likrakala. Pene Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi likrakala. Pene Shabbat Kabbalat. We are now on page 27 with the Psalm for Shabbat. Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat tov l'Adonai l'zamer l'shem ha'elyon lehagid b'boker chasdecha ve'emonatecha ba'leilot. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and to sing to your name most high, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night.
To hear the liberty, let the harp, let the sound of the lyre rise up.
You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork.
How wonderful are your works, Adonai. How subtle your design.
The arrogant do not understand. The fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms only to be destroyed forever.
But you, Adonai, are exalted for all time.
Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered.
As a wild bull raises up its horn, you raised my head high, anointed it with fresh oil.
As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear.
The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in our God's courtyard.
In old age, they remain fruitful and still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no flaw. Tzadik atar yifrach, Yeres balanon yizkeh shiturim, b'beit Adonai b'chatzrot Eloheinu yafrihu. Oh, you know, Betseva, Yeshayim Veranim, Yehu Yehakim, Yashar Adonai, Zuvi, Velo Amatamo. We are now on page 29. Adonai malach Yehud lavesh anoi ozit azar avtikon tevel baltimot. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time, you were enthroned. You are eternal.
The rivers raise up Adonai. Rivers raise up their roar. Rivers raise up their wave. Above the roar of the vast sea and the majestic breakers of the ocean, Adonai stands supreme in the heavens.
In your house, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. Mikolot ma'im rabim adirim b'shpreyam adivam arom Adonai. Hey מידותיך נאמנו מאוד, דבריך נאווה קודש, אדוני יהורג ימים. For those of us who are in mourning or observing a yard site, the Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, may be found on page 30. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach yirtei v'yamlik malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'kol Beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman karib himru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavarach le'olam v'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitkohar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha v'rihu. Leila min kol birchata shirata tush bechata v'nehemata da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. O seh shalom b'bramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We will rise and continue with the Baruch Hu on page 39a. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamavorach.
Baruch Adonai habarach
Baruch Adonai hamavorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, you may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro marif harafim. בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתחילה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, ומשמרתם ברוך כרצונו. Sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their place in the sky.
who creates day and night, who rules light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Living and ever-present God, may your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch Adonai, who brings each evening dusk.
Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshet, v'choshet mipnei hor, ma'avir yom, u'mevii layla. Dil ben yom ben laila, Adonai tzvot shmo, Echai v'kayam, Tamid yimlo kaleinu le'lam v'ohed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hamagim harafim. We'll continue now on page 40. Avat olam Beit Yisrael, Amchata. Mitzvot ukir v'shpatim otanu lemadeta. Akel Adonai Eloheinu Shafeinu v'kumeinu nasiach v'chokecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam v'ohed. Ki hen chayenu yorech yameinu v'yorech yameinu u'v'chen neheke yomam v'layla. V'apatcha ata simemenu la'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Avamo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh Asher Anochi Mitzavacha Ayom Alabavecha Vishnatam Levanecha Vidivartavam Vishitecha Uvechecha Uvletecha Baderech Ushopecha Uvkumecha Ushartam Leot Ayadecha Vahayim Tetachon Beninecha Otacham Amisobetecha Uvisharet. Adonai Elohim Emet. We'll continue now on page 43b. We'll read it responsibly in English. You proclaim the covenant of the seventh day.
Declared and decreed it. We listened and heard it.
You love this day we inherited, delighting in its remembrance.
And began his command with the word, remember, Zachor.
From the time you bestowed it, joy filled the hearts of Jeshurun, the people you redeemed.
Securing the cause of righteousness.
You exalted Shabbat as the sign between us forever. In 6 days your world was formed. On the seventh day you rested.
And on this day Israel, your people rest.
To honor your name, they sing songs of praise to the one deserving of praise. Continue on page 44 in the Hebrew. U'malchuto b'ratzu kiblo aleihem Moshe Miriam u'bnei Yisrael l'chanu shira b'simcha Rabha v'yamru chulam Mi kamocha elim Adonai Mi kamocha neda HaKodesh Dorati goto sechele Malchut karu v'necha V'keyam lifnei Moshe Zeli anu v'yamru Adonai yinoch le'olam po'eh V'nemar Adonai et Yaakov G'olam yad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Ka'al Yisrael Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim Uvkos aleinu sukkah shlomecha V'taknenu beit hatofel b'fonecha V'oshienu l'man shemecha V'yagen v'yatei b'ateinu. Allow us, Adonai Eloheinu, to sleep peacefully. Waken us to life, O Sovereign. We're on page 45. Sorry, we're on page 45.
Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us.
Shield us, shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate.
Ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us the canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Ushmar Seitenu Venu L'chaim L'shalom Me'ata V'Olam Uvkos Aleinu Sukkot Shalom Echo Baruch atah Adonai Hafoved Sukkot Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Amo Yisrael V'al Yerushalayim. We rise for Hashamru on page 46, which is followed by Chatzi Kaddish, and then we'll have time for our own personal prayer with the Amidah. Tisharu v'nei Yisrael et Shabbat la'asot et Shabbat l'dochota v'rit olam Amen. Yoel Oti Le'olam Pisheshet Yamim Asa Adonai Et Hashamayim Et Haaretz U'Bayom HaShvi'i Shabbat Vayinafash Yikadol Yikras Miravo V'Vadivra Kirutev Yamim Aputei V'Chayi Chonov Yom Echonu V'Chayi Nechol Beit Yisrael V'Alav Izmakari V'Imru Amen Yehish Mirah V'Varach Le'olam Olamei HaMayah Yiparach V'Yisavach V'Toar V'Truma V'Naseh Yitadar V'Tale V'Talal Shemeda Kudesh Abrihu V'Hela V'Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tush V'Chata V'Nechemata Tamiram V'Almaha V'Ibro Amen. The Vayechulu on page 53. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz b'otzemam Vayechol Elohim b'yom hashvi'i L'avto asher asa Vayishbot b'yom hashvi'i Mikom l'avto asher asa Vayvarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i V'kadesh oto Ki bo Shabbat mikom l'avto Asher bara Elohim l'asot Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Baruch Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ha'Hadorah El Elyon Kodesh Shamayim V'Haaretz Magid Avot Yitvarot Mitzvayim Mitin B'Maharot Ohel HaKadosh Shehi Kamohu Hameach Yamohu Yom Shabbat Kodshu Yivaratza Le'aliach Lahem Yivaratza Le'aliach Lahem לפניו נעמוד וירא ופחד. נודה לשמו בו יום תמיד, אין ההוראות, אין ההוראות, הטוב השלום. נקדש השבת במרק שלי, ומנך קדושה דוד ושני עוקי. זכר למעשה בראשית. אלוהינו ואבותינו, רצף ומנוחתנו, קדשנו מצוותיך, ותנחקנו בתורתך, שבענו בטובך, ושמחנו בשועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת, והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון, שבת קודשך. וינוחו בו ישראל מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו, ילמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ובימיכון, ובחייך בית ישראל, והגלה בזמן קריב אמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבו מברך, יעלם עולם לעולמו, ישחק ויסתבח ויתעורר ותרומם ויתנשא, יתהדר ויתהלל ותהלל שמנו קדושה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, ושבחתה ונחמתה, דמרם ולמה בירו אמן. תתקבל סלו דהון ובדהון דכל ישראל קודם ובהון דבשמיה בירו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו וכל ישראל בירו אמן. עושה שלום בברומם, ויעשה שלום. עלינו וכל ישראל בירו amen. If you'd like to follow along with the Kiddush, it may be found on page 55. Shavri Chaverai, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Borei Peri HaGofen. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Kiddushanu Mitzvotav Aratzavanu, Shabbat Kodsho Ba'av Ratzon, Hinchilanu, Zikaron L'Maseh Bereshit, Kivu Yom Tehillah, L'Mikroi Kodesh, Zecher L'Siyat Mitzrayim, Kivanu V'Acharta, Yotanu Kidashta, Mikol Ha'amim, Shabbat Kodshecha, Ba'av Ratzon, Hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. I'm Kabbalat Shalom. So the other day, I saw on a television program, I believe Ambassador. Reverend, I think also Andrew Young, who was Martin Luther King's right-hand man. Many years. And I imagine he's about 90, something like that. And one thing he said that really struck me is that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King never wrote down his speeches. It was all just like from the heart, straight from the heart, the Holy Spirit like moved him, and he just spoke, and then it would only be written down afterwards. And I'm just thinking of one speech, began, and I believe he was maybe quoting scriptures, let justice ring out from the hilltops or from the mountaintops, right? Very powerful. He was such a powerful orator, and so let justice. Roll, I think maybe is another thing he said, for the mountaintops. And that's what we have happening in this week's Parsha. That in last week's Parsha, Yitro, we had the Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 pronouncements, or the 10 declarations, or the 10 statements. And these, if you will, these are general principles to live by, to guide us. And how to apply them is in this week's Parsha, Parshat Mishpatim. Mishpatim means the laws, the laws. So in this week's Parsha goes into a great detail of how to basically live an ethical life, kind life, like not to oppress the widow and the orphan, to welcome the stranger, because we were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, in one of his essays on this parsha, he emphasized the quality of empathy. Empathy. It's like, oftentimes one hears a critique, or maybe not often, but sometimes one hears a critique of Judaism. It says, "Oh, it's such legalism, such legalistic religion," and far from it, because as Rabbi Sachs points out, that the whole thrust of the Torah is to live an ethical life, a just life, to live according to these divine laws with empathy, and that's why that phrase about the stranger, which appears many times in the Torah, in the Tanakh. Love your neighbors as yourself appears a handful of times, but to welcome a stranger appears many times. That's so that we can really understand, put ourselves in the place of those who are less fortunate than ourselves, those who suffer persecution, those who are treated unfairly. So it's always, I think, as Hillel said to the person who came to him and asked to be taught the entirety of the Torah while standing on one foot, his response was, "What is hateful to yourself, don't do to somebody else. The rest is commentary. Now go and learn, go and study." So to really put ourselves in the place of the other, and may justice roll, and may all beings experience justice, fair, and again, the laws of the Torah are to be applied equally, regardless of one's status, one's stature. Everyone is equal in God's eyes, and we are all in support to remember, as always, that we're all created in the image of God. Shalom.
Shalom.
So we'll continue with the. Before Aleinu, let's take a moment to bring to our mind and into our hearts our loved ones who are in need of healing. Maybe parts of the world that are also in need of healing. Certainly the hearts of the people in the land of Israel. It's been a very difficult week. In need of healing. And we'll sing the Debbie Friedman's Misha Bera prayer.
Misha Bera source of strength, who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeira imotenu, mikor habracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing, with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We rise for Aleinu, page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tekinu l'yotze bereshit, shelo asar k'gei haratzot, ולא שמענו כשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהן, וגור עלינו ככל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, בפני המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נותן שמיים מיוסר הארץ, ומשה וקרוב השמיים ממעל, Ushina tuzo, Biko heimir homi. O Eloheinu, Elohim, Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Kavatu, V'toratu, V'yatata yom, V'ashevota, Elohecha, Ki Adonai, O Elohim, B'shamayim mima'al, V'yaharetz, Mitachatenu. Kimlo Aleichem Meirale Olam Poed, Ki Amalchut Shechahiyot Olameatim Lo B'Kavod, Kam Katuv B'Toratecho Adonai Yimloch Leolam Poed. Nehar Adonai L'melech HaKol Haaretz, V'yom Hahu Yeh Adonai Echad, Ushmo Echad. So this time, we remember, well, first, before I read the York Satan, we feel the loss, along with all of Am Yisrael, of Shiri, Kefir, and Ariel Bibas, and Oded Lifshitz. And we remember at this time the Yard Satan of Saul Rothside's father, Alex, Evelyn Dragif's brother, Carl Hoffman, Susan Giloni's sister, Holly Strom, Sheldon Coben's father-in-law, Alan Waldlinger, Dr. Bernard Rosen's mother, Regina Rosen, Jamie Rothschild's aunt, Judith Shane, as well as Jack Purnell, Lenore Margolis, Louis Levinson, Sarah Cohen, Daniel Gelman, Leah Barth, Eleanor Taras, Isabel M. Cohen, and Celia Newman, and any other Yard Satan people would like to mention at this time, or anyone's in mourning. So, the Mourner's Kaddish, if you're saying Mourner's Kaddish, it is on page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divra pirutei v'yalit malchutei, v'chayei chon v'yomei chon v'chayei v'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei almaya. Yiparach, Vishtabach, Vitha'ar, Vitramam, Vitnaseh, Vithadar, Vithalev, Vithalal, Shemei Kudusha, Brihu, Le'ela, Mikol Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbetata, V'nechemata, V'amiram, V'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu, Al-Kol Yisrael V'imromeinu. Oseh Shalom V'imromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu, Al-Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Shabbat morning services are at 9:30 a.m. And Purim is coming, less than 3 weeks to Purim, and 2 weeks until the Hadassah Sisterhood Shabbat, Kabbalat Shabbat. 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks from today. 7th of March. 2 weeks from today. Good. Okay.
Just reset my calendar.
All right. So it's fresh in your mind. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Let's make a pretty good drum. Okay, next week I'll remember that to do. Come to myself. Yeah. Yes. Shabbat Shalom, Lori. Shabbat Shalom, Joni. Good to see you both. Shabbat Shalom. Hello there. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
Should we hand out some red noses?
And you know what this Shabbat system, she did very two things. Everybody clapped. And the people sing. Pages.
Okay.
There's no easy thing for readers to put their book on. We might want to bring that little lectern down here.
Well, I mean, they could, I mean, well,
Coming up close next to you.
well, no, I could just step, I would just step to the side. I would just give it up. I would give, I would just step down from there and they would step up. So I think we can.
Hello, Shabbat Shalom,
But also
sweetheart.
depending on how big, how
Shabbat
large.
Shalom,
of a
thank
turnout.
you.
Oh, Carmenza, Shabbat Shalom. It's good to see you.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, alternatively, here's the question. Yeah, that was gonna be my next question.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember last year, was it 50-ish? So
No,
perhaps